Hey, Josh, you guys played a lot of guys on the offensive line trying to get that whole group kind of figured out. Where do things stand, would you say, over at right tackle and swing tackle and really across the board?
We have a lot of things to discuss. I think in the next so many days, we've played a lot of people there. We played a lot of people across the board. So I think this is the part of the year where, some of those decisions are going to start to settle in here. We have a few more days here to go over. We have a lot of tape to digest here in the last week here that I think was really important for us to gain that information. But a lot of guys have put some things on tape that are very competitive, and then there's certainly things we can do better as an offensive line as a whole. But nothing's, there will be no big announcements today on that. There's a lot to sort through here.
Hi, Coach. I've been particularly interested in your impressions of Sam Webb as well as Luke Masterson and how much of an impact you thought that those two made in their campaigns here throughout the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys, obviously, young players that came here after the draft that, again, we've tried to say this since the beginning. It doesn't matter how you get here. What matters is what you do when you're here. And Luke and Sam and Darian and we have a number of guys that have really showed well for themselves and made some progress. They all have a long way to go because they're very young and in many ways inexperienced, but the fact that they were durable enough to stay on the field, they've taken a lot of reps, they've played a lot of football, they've used all 4 preseason games to try to benefit themselves in terms of making progress in each phase that they're in. But no, I'm very pleased with the effort, the attention to detail, and the progress that a lot of these guys have made here over the last month.
Coach, wanted to just talk about the intensity that your team played with in preseason game number 4. I mean, it's been a long training camp. They're kind of wore out, but they're going out there flying around the ball. And then a guy like Cleve Farrell, who missed a lot of time in training camp, looked like he played really well on that game on last night as well. What did you think from those guys?
Yeah, I thought the energy was really good. And playing in our stadium, it's easy to see why they'd be excited to do that, and we have a great atmosphere there. Fans do a great job of producing that for us. And then I thought the entire team showed up ready to go, and they've done that since we got here. I mean, honestly, since the first day of OTAs, they've been prepared and excited to go out there and work. They were excited to work this week against the Patriots in practice, and then certainly excited for their opportunity to play last night. But, I think that's been kind of a hallmark of this group. Got great leadership and guys that really want to come in there and do it right. And Clee, specifically, it was good to get Clee back out there. Saw him play some snaps, in some different packages yesterday. And that's always good to get a guy out there and have some opportunity to play in a preseason and, and do some things that we want to see him do. So good to get him back out there.
Hey, Josh, sticking with Clee, I mean, in terms of what his skill set brings, and we talked to him a little bit last night. He talked about how frustrating it was to injure the ankle on the first day of pads and just to come back now and getting into football shape, game shape, so to speak. But what skill set wise, what does he bring to what you guys want to accomplish on defense?
He's a physical guy, and we obviously want to put a tough physical defense out there on the field. And Cleveland's demonstrated the ability to do that in more than one spot. He set the edge a handful of times last night, which is a good thing to see. He was involved in the pass rush some, and dropped into coverage actually a couple of times. So, there's a lot of things we ask those guys to do on the edge. Clee's definitely going to try to make up for a little bit of lost time here, but that's okay. That's what these practices going forward will be about, for him. And he's been involved in each meeting. He's paid attention. He understands what his roles are that we're asking him to play. And like I said, it was good to get him back out there. And you could see, in the limited number of opportunities he had last night, you could see some of the things that we're looking forward to with Cleveland.
Josh, you talk about, what matters is when you get here, not how you got here. But when you and Dave are putting the roster together, I'm not asking about names, just in general. how much emphasis goes on, gee, if we let this guy go, this is what it costs us? I mean, that's part of the reality, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of factors that go into trying to do the right thing for the team. But at the end of the day, if we keep to the goal of putting together the best football team that we can, that will help us win the most games, and make the decisions based off of those factors, then that will be our guideline, and so certainly there's an element of that goes into it. We all know that is there, some different than others, depending on who you're talking about. But, at the end of the day, our job is to try to produce the best roster that we can that can help us win the most games. And we're going to try to do that. And at the same time, it's always a work in progress. The roster's not set, on Tuesday or Wednesday for the next, 4 months, 5 months. It could change, obviously, and it will change as we go through the course of the year. But we're going to do the very best we can here in the next few days.
So we got 2 more questions. We'll go Vinny and Heidi.
Josh, there's been some things out there regarding Alex Leatherwood, his future with the Raiders. I was just curious, how you thought he got through training camp and the preseason, and maybe about where things may stand with him moving forward.
Yeah, Alex played a lot of football. Is basically out there every day and, durable and, and look, there, like I said, earlier on the call, that, our offensive line as a whole, there's definitely some good things, some things we've made progress on. And there's definitely some areas where we could probably do better and improve. And, that's what this time of the year is for. And so Alex took a lot of reps. He's played a lot of football for us. I think he knows our system a lot more now than he did, in April. And that's true for every offensive player on our team. And, we'll, like I said, we're going to use the next few days here to sort it out. But certainly he's in the mix in all those conversations. We feel like we do have some quality there. So, having tough decisions to make because you feel like you got a lot of guys competing for them is a good problem to have.
Coach, I know that this has been preseason, they're exhibition games, but how much of a sense of pride did it give you as well as the team to go 4-0, in which I understand is the first time in franchise history that the Raiders were undefeated in preseason?
Well, we talk about, competing and, our whole focus since we got together and we're able to go out there on the grass and practice has been, really about competition, whether it's at in an individual position or across the ball against a different group, offense versus defense. These guys have competed every single day. And what we've basically tried to do is, get them to understand that competition makes us all better. And if we're trying to win a drill, if we're trying to win a period, there's nothing wrong with that, and the number one fundamental and that we need to try to be really good at from the beginning of the season towards the end of the season is the ability to win. And so it's never a bad thing when you come out with more points on the scoreboard than the other team. We'll never take the field without not being our number one goal. And so every game we play, whether it's a preseason game or regular season game, we're only going to go there and show up to do the one thing that we're trying to do every week, and that's to win. And proud of the team's effort and competitiveness throughout the preseason, and now we're looking forward to the regular season.
We'll do one final question for Q.
Coach, you've really embraced Raider Nation and also just being a Raider head coach. What was it like to have all that alumni in the building last night, just being honored, the guys who planted the roots for the Silver and Black?
Really special. Got a chance to talk to a few of them yesterday. I'll get a chance to see a few more of them tonight. But it's just, it's such what a blessing to have this kind of rich tradition and history. And then, you can see Mr. Davis's commitment to them. We have that moniker, once a Raider, always a Raider. And it's obviously true here. And so those people that laid the groundwork and the foundation for us, they've set the standard. We know what the commitment to excellence is because we saw them do it and lay it out there for us years and years ago. And so I thought the guys were really excited to have an opportunity to perform in front of them yesterday. You saw a couple of our guys celebrate down there towards the end zone where they were all at. So no, it's just this is a special place. And the more I've been here, the more I've understood that. I've tried to embrace that in every way that I could. I think our staff and our players do the same thing, but it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those 300 and some guys that were here last night, that did all the dirty work and all the hard work long ago to show us exactly what being a Raider means. So it was our honor to have an opportunity to compete in front of them and have them there and try to do the right thing and win the game for them. So it was great to have him here.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Yep. Thanks a lot, guys.
Recording